Flat Earth British, Martin speaking. Welcome, people. Welcome back. Are you excited? Are you excited? Now, it's the 23rd of the 9th, 2018, or so they say. Time stamped for history. Okay. Now we're going to go deeper. Now I'm sorry to keep you waiting so long, but yesterday I was very busy, I had visitors, etc. So there needed to be a time for me to concentrate to bring this out. I'm sure you can appreciate that a lot of work has gone into this series. This is part 2 of the greatest story never told. Okay. Now, before I get underway, people, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. Okay, click the notification bell or come back, because otherwise you're not going to find out what's going on. And believe you me, you're going to want to. Okay, don't miss out. Don't rob yourself. Okay, subscribe to Flat Earth British. Spread the word. Okay. Plus, comment in my comments section and share your thoughts on this subject. Okay, because the last 2 vlogs I spent quite a bit of time in the comments, and the ideas are outstanding. Okay, now I'm going to pick up on the end of the last vlog concerning the Roman or the ancient fasces, which we now believe to be a sound weapon. Okay, an energy weapon. Okay, so I'm going to pick up at the end of there. Okay, now feel free, go off, make a cup of coffee or whatever it is you do, come back, relax, sit down and try and absorb this information. Okay, there is a little aspect of this which is quite disturbing, but yin and yang, there's always a flip side to the coin. There's a really good aspect to the whole of what I'm going to present. Okay, so wish me luck. We'll see what we can do to make the best content. Now, part 2, great story never told. Buckle in, people, you're going to need to. Your brains will be dust. Dust. Okay, dust. Brains will be dust by the end of this. Dust. So we're going to start here, people. Technasmia, or Phanugia, the technology of emitting sound waves into the environment, into the ether, for the benefit of all, or not for the benefit of all, has been established. I have an entire catalogue of technasmia, or Phanugia sciences, which show you this is a real thing. Okay, there's no escaping it. Now, it's out there. It's a whole new day and a whole new genre, a whole new field of exploration. It's all mind-blowing, the permeations. So we'll start here. These technasmia devices, organs are in churches, church machines, cathedral machines. Now, this is the narrative. When the survivors come into these buildings, every time, survivor times, they find a load of pipes in a building. They don't exactly know what they are. And remember, the fasces is as old as Rome itself. However old that is, I believe not that old. They put slits in them, they turn them into flutes. Okay, and they had a new invention of that era, a keyboard, a harpsichord or an organ. A keyboard is a relatively recent advancement. Apparently they never had it in ancient Rome. If they did, we don't know about it. They had a harp, they had other stringed instruments, so did they have a keyboard? I don't know, but let's just suppose they put keyboards in these and work out some aspects of technasmia. Who knows, maybe the information's passed down. So what you find is you get pipes going horizontally out. Okay, you find this a lot out into the ether. Not going up, they're going that way, outwards. Okay, let's have a think about that for a second. Now, the official reason is a battlefield trumpet. On the battlefields, the trumpet is blown to sound for a pause in battle. For sound for a pause in battle. So just hold that thought. Hold that thought. Pause in battle. Okay, okay. Now remember, all what I've been talking about, people, is connected with water. The technology is connected with water. Seems that most churches, church machines, cathedral machines, have got water courses running through them. All star forts are connected to water. They're all on water, rivers, meanders of rivers, islands in rivers, but they're all connected with water. So we'll touch upon why we think this is along the way in this vlog. Hopefully, see how much I can get through, people. So this is where we're going. Other suspects for Technosmia. Now, the royal orb, scepter and crown of Queen Elizabeth II. The crown jewels, people. Crown jewels. Very interesting. There's some jewels on here that could tell you some history. You've got the African star. The biggest diamond on earth is in a top bit of the scepter, which is a large, some of them are very large actually, wand type instrument, a rod with a curling around it, like a wire, serpent maybe, and a diamond, something that can focus a beam maybe at the end, and the orb. But obviously to be able to conduct an electrical charge, they would have to be made out of maybe gold. Oh, they are. Isn't that handy? They can conduct an electrical charge. And what you find is these things turn up all over antiquity. And they're always on the battlefield. They're always on the battlefield. Okay, Queen Elizabeth has them. Now, one of these jewels, I believe it might be on the crown, was worn around the neck of Henry II, the Battle of Agincourt. Now, Henry routed the French when a terrible downpour happened. Everything turned to mud and the French got basically bogged down. The French knights got bogged down in mud after a mud flood. So it's on one of these. I can't identify which jewel, but one of them was worn by Henry. So, are they weapons? Like the fachet? All in plain sight. Not saying this is a working mechanism, people. Who knows? But they definitely have been back with all of it. So, you get this type as well, okay? With this sort of winged effect. But they're made of gold. And they look like they might be a device. No doubt about it. So, see right away through antiquity, you see the eagle control, and then you see this soldier, this Roman soldier, or this Roman dude with a lot of leaf. The other dude has got a scepter and a crown, and the other one has got an orb in his hand, a scepter, and everything behind him lays in dust from fire and destroyed. Now, is it the orb and the scepter that is doing this? There's another scepter. Look on Google yourself. There's many, many different types. Many. You find this type, which have got a jewel or a crystal. They use a crystal for directionalizing a beam. You have a snake twining all the way down, made of metal. This would certainly cause a magnetic field. You may think of Moses when he had his cane and the snake wrapped around it. Yeah, miracle. Are we looking at technology? Now, what is the scepter cited as doing? What's it for? What's it for? This is where it gets a bit disturbing, but they say it's the God Killer, the original God Killer. The scepter of the ancients. The scepter of the ancients is the original God Killer. It is an incredibly powerful tool used by the ancients to kill the faceless ones. The faceless ones. It sings to its owner when someone approaches. It stays quiet when an ancient approaches. So this thing gives off a sound, a harmonic, as well. It buzzes because it's a device. Sebeka had a focusing beam and a black crystal shooting out, turned everything into dust. So the scepter turns everything into dust. So that's the official sort of story of what a scepter is supposed to be for in the past, in antiquity. They're god killers. So what permeations could you use with such a weapon that could turn something into dust? Well, we have so many. We have 9/11. Yes, I know, duty words, particle beam weapons, yes, I know. But the evidence is that they might have a weapon, and it's causing things to turn to dust inside. The centers of these buildings are missing, people. They just turned to dust and evaporated. You can see in this building like tables cut in half, with the computers cut in half. The other half is being evaporated, disintegrated, turned to dust. Everything in this building here is missing. It's missing. Almost as if a beam has hit it right here in the middle. Okay. So 9/11. What other things can you think of that would do this devastation, people? Well, there's Hiroshima and Nagasaki, for sure. Exactly the same MO, people. It's so creepy, it's beyond a joke. All of them share exactly the same MO. Streets are clear. Buildings fall in their footprints. The buildings evaporate. There's nothing left. Now, if this was an atomic bomb blast, people, which it wasn't, by the way, the General Hospital in Hiroshima stayed operational the entire time. And you can't tell me that's a real photograph of Nagasaki. If you blow this photograph, there's gents standing here smoking a cigarette looking at it. There's supposed to be a thing called a nuclear blast wave, people, okay? Which would put debris across roads, not leave roads completely clear. Everything missing. If everything's being blasted, it would be blasted into piles covered in the road and looking like what your brain is telling you. Not everything. Missing. Dust. Roads clear. Everything falling in its footprint in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Sharing the same MO as all of these fires that we're going to talk about, people. The same MO. In the modern day, we got exactly the same thing happening here. In the California wildfires, people, buildings are falling in their footprint. The roads are left clear. The buildings are turned to dust. There's something seriously wrong with this. You see images where there's conifers and the houses are destroyed. How can that happen? How can conifers still be there and the buildings just evaporated, dust in their footprint? In their footprint. Dust, people, dust. The wildfires. Now we all know the agenda, people. It looks like Hiroshima, it looks like Nagasaki. The streets are clear. Everything is falling in its footprint. How can that conifer and that conifer be there when the building next to it is evaporated? Or these trees here. Can you see these trees here? How can that be? I thought the firestorm was supposed to just rage through, incinerating everything. Doesn't even look like it's had a fire. Why is it black? Why is it not blackened? Why is everything like stone? And it's like dust. And the trees are still there. Hiroshima is exactly the same, but not only these, people. American City fires also. American City fires. This one in particular, San Francisco earthquake, shares the same MO as the Lisbon earthquakes and following tsunamis, but not with this one apparently. It's strange how an earthquake can be so strong, yet they'll move all the survivors down onto the beach or the seafront in the tents. Wouldn't they be expecting a tsunami? But not only that, exactly the same MO as Hiroshima and all of the events we look into. Streets are clear and the buildings are missing. Everything's missing. It's fallen in its footprint. Gone. It's evaporated. It's dust. These buildings are massive. Massive. The centre of San Francisco at this period. This is only 1 year after Queen Victoria died. So this is almost the Victorian era. Skyscrapers everywhere. They missed this sort of district, the financial district. Everything else in the area that would have had the Great Expositions built only 3 or 4 years later, completed, is gone. It's missing. Fallen in his footprint. Yeah, they moved the survivors to the coast. It just doesn't make no sense. It's not only Chicago, San Francisco, it's all these American city fires share the same MO. Now, what they all share from all survivor witnesses say that there was booming, or what sounded like incredible loud artillery, but it's been attributed to subterranean activity, like earthquake activity, or they say plates, don't they? Like sonic booms. Like the loudest artillery ever heard, like sonic booms, people. They all share the same MO, and then this happens. The streets are clear, and everything's these specific type of architecture, and everything's just disappearing in its footprint. Chicago Fire 1871, the whole city's just gone. Everything's been replaced by a Great Exposition. Excuse me, I know they're small. Streets clear, everything falling in its footprint. Same as the American Civil War in Richmond. The buildings are missing, the rubble is missing inside. Almost as if... That's not Hiroshima, people, that's Chicago. Chicago 1871. Can you explain to me how fire can do that to masonry anyway? You know, a masonry building burnt down in my city a few years ago. The building was there, the inside was gone. But these are just... like they've been blasted with something. Looks like 9/11 for sure. 100%. Same MO. All these American city fires are the same. It's falling in their footprint. The roads are clear. There's nothing left. Just dust. Penny drop in. We go deeper. Now, like with everything, guys, this is the dark side of it, but I believe that there is another side to it, and the permeations are absolutely mind-blowing. It's like save humanity. It's brilliant. So you get these ceremonial maces, okay? They are all over antiquity also, okay? They're a type of scepter, and they're large. You get all government or parliament master of arms carry them with the opening of Parliament. You know, Black Rod? Chet Black Rod. It's got one of them over his shoulder. So the big ceremonial maces. So, does it do nothing? Or was there a time when this thing done something? So that's what we're going to look into now. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, I know. Okay, we move on. Religious processions in history share one serious coincidence. More than a coincidence, I don't believe coincidences even exist. Is the Hegelian dialectic. The problem, reaction, solution. The sequence of events for all these famous religious processions is they had a big drought. They had a procession, and then it rains. Okay, so, wow, how many of these actually have this happened? Well, it turns out most of these famous processions have the same MO. Crops were going to fail, people were going to be affected. They bring in some sort of processional altar, carry it through, which I'll show you now, and it rains. And here's a load of evidence to support it. You have a drought, a relic is carried, it rains. Okay, it's perfect Hegelian dialectic. It's amazing, in fact. And overwhelming evidence of it. Venezuela, suffering a very hard drought. People decided to bring in a virgin in a procession, and then it rained heavily, over and over again. Now, got to think to yourself, people, The clergy that bring these processional altars through, these processional relics through in the open air, are taking a big gamble. Because if they bring these through in times of famine and it fails to rain, okay, then people are going to have doubt in their faith. So it's a massive gamble. But they're not taking gambles. They're not gamblers, you see. Because they know 100% that when they bring this thing out, it will rain. Over and over again, they bring out a processional relic, which I'll show you now. Is it a miracle? Is that what's happening? Is a miracle? Or is it something to do with what they're carrying? Credited with many miracles, including the end of drought, which threatened famine. Over and over again, the same MO. 1624, drought. They bring out a processional altar with a device, much rain needed. People themselves propose the procession, so they can't get it wrong, these clergy. They're going to lose all. So they're 100% confident it will rain. Miracle? And then the result? Ka-ching! A Hegelian dialectic completed, an abundant crop. Do your own research, people. It's all of them. Here's what they have. I've seen these myself in Italy and Sicily, actually, where they brought these things out. I've seen all the people in the streets and just didn't really take much notice, if I'm honest. I just thought, oh, that's pretty, off I go and do my thing. But what they are is metal rods, like scepters, metal rods, all the way down, and they're carrying a cloth roof, with something on top. A relic. Oh, look at now. Now these blokes, or these clergy, gotta carry this thing through a town. And they're carrying heavy metal rods to carry material. Wouldn't it be better to use some cheaper material, something lighter than heavy metal to carry these processional altars through the towns? They're really ornate, beautiful metal to carry a cloth roof, and there's something on top of the cloth roof, you see. So is it a device? Well, I think it might be, people. We're gonna have a look now. And check this in the background. You've got this the twirl, or the wire going around the pillars, like to create a magnetic field, and the obelisk on top. The whole thing seems to be a device. Now, again, you got this twirling or this turning, which, if it's a wire around a central column, would cause a magnetic field. Scepters holding up a cloth cover. So all of these blokes got to carry all this heavy metal just to carry cloth. No, makes no sense. So does it do something more? There they are again. Heavy, really heavy metal to carry cloth, to carry something on top of cloth. Okay, there it is again. Ceremonial altar. Look how many men it needs to carry this, because it's made of metal. Cheaper balsa wood painted. Why does it have to be metal? And why does it look like a device? Again, like scepters to carry cloth. But there is something happening with this cloth. This is an older procession. Again. So there may not be anything happening with them now, or there may be, but there's definitely a time when there was. Here is a lead atlas that I presented many times. Really one of the best I've ever seen. And it's of a procession of a guy that's just come in after a battle. They show you the battle, everything turns to dust. It's in the page previous. You have Tartars and Cossacks sinking in mud. In mud, as I showed you, and the horses also in mud. Okay, Tartars, Cossacks. So you get the Roman Emperor himself, Rex, and he has carried over his head, mind, a processional altarpiece with a canopy and something on top. Something on top. All of that effort to carry this thing on a cloth on something on top in the open air. And whatever it is has left the enemy in dust and in terrible trouble. Here. Where you can see they go into battle, it's all hell breaks loose, and cities are turned to relative dust. Missing. Gone. Okay. So, very strange. We're still supposed to be in Rome, but it's a Rome crossover. You got Romans with people of the Middle Ages in this book. So, in the lead atlases, you'll see the orb, the scepter, and these processional altars everywhere. Everywhere. Now, pillars. Okay, pillars. I remember them columns on that processional altar. Okay. Now, excuse me. Now, I know, puffed up myself. Wow. So, now bundles of pillars bunched together, much like the fasces, much like the organ pipes, much like a lot of the stuff I've just been showing you. So, groups of rods bundled together like this. Could there be any benefits? Any benefits for humanity? Is this why they're bunching them together? Is this why they look actually like devices? Is there a benefit for humanity? Now we know they resonate, and we know they're made of a specific crystalline structure, and we know that they look like gadgets. So what exactly are these things doing? Okay, well, I think they're multiple, but I definitely think they emanate into the ether. In cathedrals, you have the exact same. You have these pipes, or making masonry, it's still a crystalline structure, stone. Pipes packed together, the same. So is it for the benefit of people? Okay. Balustrades, bridges, bunched together. Carry a charge, we thought, maybe, with steel ones, on a bridge. These columns, all tightly packed together. Is it a science? Is it a science for better understanding? Is it? Let's have a look. Something else that comes up all over Middle Ages depictions we decode on this channel is the hourglass. The hourglass. Okay. Is it just a coincidence again? The hourglass is all over these depictions, being very, very, very significant, and has what looks like scepters up on the sides. Is this thing a device? Okay. There's another egg timer, I suppose it is. It's a timer of sorts. Sands of time, eh? Dust. Again. Is it a device? Starting to think so, aren't you, people? Okay. So, the hourglass is a device. It's got scepters all around it. Okay. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Okay. You have other permeations. You've got the Jewish menorah, which is carried. Now, you know this thing. And these I've talked about quite often. I thought that they might be television cameras going on battle with them, take a bit of video. I think they're devices. You got the horns. Can we see any fasces here being carried? Not really, but we got this box, which is heavy, which is carried everywhere, which I'm going to show you along this ride. Okay, now I carry this device, which is like an arc. You've all seen the Indiana Jones film. He opens the arc and energy is burst out, killing everyone with a sound wave. But the menorah, Let's have a look at this menorah. Another thing from antiquity they need to carry on procession into battle. Oh, yeah, it's an antiquitac device connected to a menorah, apparently, some sort of device, apparently, carries, again, on procession, in the open air. Great reverence, in Roman times, and they got balls, sort of, on the top, the menorah. What about that one? It's got coils all the way around people to create a magnetic field. These things are 100% devices. It goes on, people. You're going to find so much now. Once you know, and you can pick these apart, they're all over antiquity. They were devices. So, this is where it gets incredibly interesting, actually, people. Now, this fella. Do you know this fella? Yeah, well, this fella is Dr. Wilhelm Reich. Wilhelm Reich, okay? So this fella develops a science where he uses orgon, like organ, gas, or orgon, energy, it's not gas, it's an energy, orgon energy. The science was amazing. He basically can make deserts wet. He can create rain using a device. His story is incredible. I'll link it up to you if you don't know about him already. He died short time before he was going to be released from jail. It's a massive story to him, and he was obviously doing his science for the Nazis, take to America, usual story. And here it is, the cloud burster device, the cloud burster or buster. Wilhelm Reich and his invention, the cloud burster. Okay, so what is it? It's a load of pipes pointing up at the sky. Exactly like what I've been showing you right through this series, people. Wilhelm Reich creates rain using the same technology as the processional altars. So the processional altars are doing exactly the same, people. They're using organ. Where do you think he got the word from? From organs. Organs inside, people. Organs. There's so many connections. It's all going to fall into place right now. And here's where the water comes into it. Apparently the organ device needs to have a water, whether it's an electrolyte, but this thing needs to be topped up. It's part of its mechanism. So this is where star forts fall into place, and the water below the churches. We're going to tweak it. We're going to find out how this shit works. These can be rebuilt. People are building organ devices. Think of the permeations, guys. All of them waste grounds, waste deserts, arid land that could be replenished and made into green pasture land for people to make food. So it was a bright side, people. Here it is again. It's twist, creates a field, and it's a modern day organ device rebuilt. They work. They are real. This is a real thing. Okay. And right the way through antiquity, they seem to have depictions of organ devices. Roman, there, the fash. You'll see this symbol underneath the American eagle on the dollar, where he's holding his sticks, his bundles, which is a fash, which is the splaying of the energy. And here again, the Rothschilds, and here again. Okay, it's all over. Once you know, the penny drops. Certainly does drop, people. Mini harp, weather modification, mini harp. Okay, so what are we looking at, people? What are we looking at? We're looking at rods, like scepters, like rods. Okay, like organ pipes, organ, cloudbuster, Wilhelm Reich, mini harp. They're pipes. They're going into water. There's a vortices in the water run by a motor. A vortices, whirlpool. The vortices is running on an orgonite cell, and it is connected to these pipes which manipulate the weather. They're using this, people. They're using this against us. They're using this. They are calling the shots with the weather. These hurricanes, all of these weather events, people, is this. Is this. It is. It's this. No, it is. The open ends of these hoses are to be placed in water, is what Wilhelm Reich says with his Cloudbuster. His Cloudbuster consists of an array of panel hollow tubes, just like the Fash, just like organ pipes. It's technasma permeations. There's so much we can do with this, people. It gives me shivers, a lot of goose pimples thinking about what we can do with this knowledge. Now. Everything changes right now. Metal tubes which are connected with at the rear to the series of flexible metal hoses in which are equal and slightly smaller in diameter to the parallel tubes. Alternatively, the rear of the tube are joined together in a single large diameter pipe and flexible metal hose to open the end of the hoses and place them in water, which Reich believed to be a natural organ absorber. So that's where the water's coming in the star forts, people. All the way around them, underneath them, right through them. Organ absorber. It's part of it, it's needed. The pipes can be aimed into the areas of the sky and draw energy to the ground like a lightning rod. It remains to be one of Reich's Cloudbusters can be found in Rangley, Maine. Okay, the guy fell into obscurity, was fucked over by the government and died. No. Excuse me. So, small world, isn't it? Small plane. The Nikolai Tesla's organ energy device happens to be 4 rods sticking up horizontally, very, very much like the processional altars they're making rain with in the Hegelian dialectic of the clergy. Yeah, I know. Isn't it falling into place, people? The puzzle pieces, one by one. This is one you can make. It's on YouTube. It's an organ device. You can do this on YouTube, people. This is a real technology. Amp it up. It's technasmia. It's phanugia. Wilhelm Reich wrote a book, Function of the Orgasm. I know. But when you realise the full permeations of organ, now you listen to organ music in a church. You listen to, you organise your life. You get organ energy. You get your organs to be healthy. Organic food. And the good old one at the end, the sweetest one, I think, is the orgasm, for a happy life. Voila, full circle. Now, there is a lot of information you can get on Wilhelm Reich. There's a film I watched just the other night. It was absolutely amazing. He's hired by this people who got a desert and they want crops. He goes up, pushes the machine up, and lo and behold, the place is just in no time at all green. It's beautiful. It's real. I know it's real. And here's the organ. Apparently, is that a symbol for organ? I wonder. So there he is there, Wilhelm Reich, and it's not going to come up. There it is. It's an invention. He pushes it up the hill, and as you can see, he points it at the sky, and here's the real film of the organ, technasmia, phanugia. We know what's going on, people. We know this is fucking real. This is fucking real. Device. He got completely swept under the carpet by the government, taken away, put in jail. The organ devices. Loads of films out there about him, people. It's not like he's secret or anything. We know what he was doing. Organ energy and the weather. Okay. It's the flip side of the coin for the sector science, you see. So if you get a beam, an intensity beam, in a battlefield, and you put it on the side of, say, this vault or this bank into a water course, what have you, it's going to make what? Mud. This weapon is causing mud flows. Also, the mud floods, people. They come, they go. It's this science. It's a fact. I know it is. You know it is. Dust. Guys, I presented only 2 days, a week ago, an atlas from, you may remember, from Captain Kirk. God bless you, brother. It shows 1300s maps of the world. It shows, same as the map of Monday, it shows Sahara Desert is not a desert. It's got deciduous trees and a mountain range called Kong, K-O-N-G, Kong mountain range right the way through it, and it's covered in palaces and it's very European looking. It's deciduous trees. So this is the Sahara Desert today. Nobody knows where it comes from. It's ever encroaching, as all deserts are, but they don't know the cause, do they? Okay, some people say they should nuclear war. Okay, this device, the scepter, turns things into dust. Guess what, people? Guess what the Sahara Desert is made of? Dust. There's your dust storm, the Sahara Desert. Now remember, most things that are built in that region are made of sandstone. It could be turned into dust. I believe Sahara Desert is an ancient civilization turned to dust by these weapons, people. It's dust. It's dust. It's not sand, it's dust. It's dust. Dust. Another one bites the dust, and another one bites. Thunderbolt of lightning, very, very frightening me, Galileo. Yeah, I know, predictive programming from Queen, who knew? So here I come back. I hope that wasn't too long, people. And I hope you enjoyed it very much. What you make of it? Is your brain puffed out? Mine is. That's what I had to do. Part 2 and part 3, okay, on Wilhelm Reich, into one section, one video. I'm going to be coming back with this series later on down the road, see how this one went down. Alright, looks to be a great success anyway. And I know the permeations of this are massive. This could save humanity. This is massive, people. It's massive. It's real. It's real. I think this is why all the royal families and all these elites dangle this shit in people's face. They don't know. People don't know. We've pulled it apart. We know. We now know. High fives, people. Okay. Peace and love to you all. Like I said, please feel free to subscribe. Now there is a new channel set up on this subject. Literally an alternative genre, which is like can be massive. I know it is. A guy called John Levy. Awesome video he done yesterday. He pulled up a brilliant clue concerning the fasces, an old Indian, I think Cherokee flute. And that's exactly like the axe on a fasces, the lips sticking up for acoustic purposes. Brilliant score there, brother. 100% with you on that. Yeah. Flat British sub who's being epic, but he's working at. Okay. Everything that everybody will put in the descriptions box. Our gang Wise Up, epic brother Wise Up, who's redefining the history himself as well. Okay. And everybody else in the descriptions box. Mud, a new lady up in Sweden. She's epic, this girl. Her videos are like epic. They're brilliant. I wish I could make videos like New Earth. New Earth on acid. They're brilliant. Anyway, please subscribe. Come back. Okay, we're going to carry on later on down the road. Got to compile some more stuff. And we'll be back later with chapter 4 of The Greatest Story Never Told. Next videos will be back. I'm going to promo some of the stuff that's going to be coming up next, which is also brain melting stuff. People, we got so much to bring to you. Be excited. Be very excited. Spread the word where it's happening. Get over to Flat Earth British. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbours. Tell your wives. Tell your shit. There's a guy on telly, on YouTube, and he wipes the floor with telly. Tell him. Oh God. Anyway, thanks, people. Okay. That's my lot for today. I'll be back soon. I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to comment. I'm mucking with this new field of exploration. The prospects are up. Definitely a brilliant thing. Okay, what do you think? I knew you'd agree, people. Anyway, I'll be back soon. God willing. Peace and love.